Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is a huge day. We are going to do a tour of my RV, inside and outside. You're gonna see where I live and what I have to deal with on a daily basis. But first, I just want to thank all of you who are subscribed right now. We are over 100 subscribers. I cannot believe we hit that mile mark. That is amazing. You know what? All of the channels that have 10,000, 200,000, 2 million subscribers, they started out with 100 subscribers just like we are. So let me tell you something. You guys are the true OGs of this channel. You guys, your watch time, your likes, your comments, your subscriptions, that is what is boosting my channel. And I just want to, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you so much. This means a lot to me. And please, if you see anything in this video that you like, if you want to see more content, leave a comment down below. Come on, let's go. Let's get a conversation happening. But for now, we got to get this tour done. Let's go. All right, so if you paid even the slightest bit of attention to my cover photo, you will see some big changes already. So let's go ahead and get through this. I'm gonna start in the yard first, then we're gonna work our way around the RV, and then we're gonna pop inside to see what I've got going on in there. All right, so this is what you see when you approach the front part of my site. If you spin around a little bit, you'll see two of my sheds. In that shed, I have my laundry and a lot of my yard maintenance stuff, like my grass cutter and my weed eater and my ant killer. And then in that shed right there, that's a new addition. And I actually built that out to be a little playroom for my dogs. Whenever I can't take them somewhere with me, I like to put them in there. There is a camera, there is a temperature monitoring system, and there is an air conditioner in there. So that is working really well. There is my golf cart. Batteries are not working on it right now. That's a bummer. That is my beautiful Honda Element, which I will be towing behind the bus. As you can see, I've got some crap stored in there right now. And this is my Honda Odyssey that I use on a daily basis and for my business. So if you keep going around, this is our yard. Dogs have some toys. Sometimes I use this little makeshift tie-up. Sometimes the dogs need to be put in timeout, so I will tie them off to that. But I just want to do a panorama of the yard really quick. And if you look way up there, you'll see something familiar. That is Sam. So this is my yard. Sorry for all the dead grass. It is the middle of winter, though. The dogs have all of this space to play in, and they love it. I just want to make a couple comments on my yard. You'll see those lights that go all the way around the yard. The fence ends right there and then comes back down here. They have all this space. So I have lights on this fence because sometimes here out in the country it gets very, very dark, and this really helps light up the space so I can still see the dogs. Now, if we back up just a little bit, this is all newly planted grass as of late last season. And if you follow this trail of non-landscaping bricks all the way back there. Argo, what are you doing? You scared me. You can't just run up on somebody when they're doing a video. Oh, there goes my dog. That's my landlord's dog, and he's the sweetest dog. His name is Argo. He's just a big, playful doofus. I love him so much. So you're probably going to see him running around in the background. I will say that he is allowed to roam free in a sense on this farm. I did make a comment about that in my last video about dogs being able to roam free without their leashes on. This dog is different. This dog does not go far from home. I'm talking the dogs that go multiple farms away and their owners don't know where they are. And then I try to take them to the pound. That way they don't get hit by a car, because it breaks my effing heart to see a dog hit by a car on the side of the road. I cry every single time. I'm a softie for dogs. So, side note, you're gonna probably see him in the background, but let's continue. All right, so we were on these landscaping logs that stop right there. So I need to just continue them all the way to Argo, all the way to that brick right there. And I did this late last season, so I didn't really get this done. You have to keep in mind that I am doing this all myself. I'm building a bus, recording, doing said bus, editing videos for said recordings, and then posting them. Then I have to take care of my home like any normal human being does, right? Cooking, cleaning, laundry, the whole deal. Then I've got about 400,000 dogs that I'm taking care of as well, because I'm a big softie for dogs and my life kind of revolves around them. So they take up a lot of bit of my time. And then I've got to do all the things like build up my farm kind of homestead area here, all the things. It's a lot. It's a lot. So you know what? If some things aren't finished, tough cookies. You know what? They'll get finished when they get finished. But this is my progress for now, and I'm pretty damn proud of it. So moving on. Now with that said, all of that has not really been planted in very well because I planted it late last season, and it is what it is. By summertime, that will be super, super lush and green, and I will love it. Another thing, if you trace my finger from here, all the way over, all the way back to there, and then all the way up, this entire triangle area, I have built up at least a foot to a foot and a half. And that's because it used to flood so bad here. If you look up this way at my neighbor coming home, but if you look up this way, I am on a steep, steep hill. I mean, this is like significant. So all of the water rushes down here, and I swear it would flood all of this by like 3 to 4 inches every single time it rained, and it was miserable. So I built it all up. We also put a shitload of rock here. And to put in perspective for you, if you see where my shed dips down, I made some very, very temporary stairs right there, so because the rocks kept falling up into that little area. That was where the ground used to be, and this is where it is now. I mean, that's a significant drop. So that's how much we built it up, and then I was able to put that shed on blocks to build it up as well. So that is the yard. The dogs love it. I also installed, well, I just really placed these stepping stones because walking on gravel is not always fun. So if we move this way, you will notice some big things already. Ta-da! I have a canopy that is new from the cover photo. I also completely built that deck all by myself. I'm very proud of it. Obviously installed this fire pit. I built all this up. And if you walk this way, ooh, sorry for the shaky camera. I really need to get a gimbal. If you walk this way, you'll see a table. This table I have here semi-permanently. It is so, so helpful when I need to work on stuff on the bus. I just throw it down. I have this tarp so I can roll it out and then work here, and then I just sweep up all of the crap, sawdust or whatever, and it's very easy cleanup. And it kind of hides that stuff, which we'll get to in a moment. So this very ominous looking black box is actually a planer sander. I'll show you here in a minute the pallet wood that I cut up for a very special project on the bus. That is the planer sander. It is so damn heavy and hard to move and bulky that I just cover it with a black trash bag, and I have zero issues. We'll come back to all this in a moment. I just want to do the back part of the RV really quick. This is a little gate. The front gate works the same way. I'm going to shut it back. The dogs almost never come out of that. That's actually trash. Sorry about that. That is sawdust, and I keep it because it gets made from that. This is trash, but it helps me make fires in that. So there you go. I invested in renting one of these big bad boys. This is amazing. I never have to think about propane. Down here, all the pallet wood I cut up for the very special project, which I'm not going to ruin for you yet. And here is a ladder from my old construction site. It's a really poorly made ladder for a commercial construction site, but perfect for my needs of getting on my roof when things break, and they do. So we were going to throw it away. I took it. Moving back down this way, I've got a couple of extra cords here, but that's okay. That is my water fill. If you watched my previous videos, you saw how I talked about how this is a poor design. That should not be moving like it is. Heated water hoses, I recommend 1,000,000,000,000,000%. Even if you're not staying in cold weather, there is still unseasonably cold weather that happens, so you want to be protected. There's my kayak that I don't get to use nearly as much as I want. My black and gray dump. This is also a project that I have not finished. I just need to put all this crap together and cover this hose, because if not, it tends to look like that. So not good. The sun eats it up. There's just nothing but sun from here until there, and that would be noon. So all this morning sun is just baking on this thing, and it is just eating it up. Not good. So I have this crazy contraption because this hose goes to my laundry. These two hoses go under the RV and up and away, and I'll show you that in a moment. And then obviously my heated water hose. I do have one of these amazing little pick your own water pressure deals, and that's actually a little high, but I don't have great water pressure, so that's very interesting. That used to be closer to 40. Anyway, I recommend those. You can change them with a little flathead screwdriver and pick your water pressure. Those are great. They protect your RV from super high water pressure. That is some wood that I don't care about enough to keep it out of the rain. It's kind of under the canopy, but if it rains slightly at all, it will get wet. It is what it is. That's just spare wood for the bus and miscellaneous projects. Obviously my panel, and I still got to clean that up, but again, is what it is. A lot of the stuff over here I don't have to see hardly ever, and right, wrong, or indifferent, I really need to get it cleaned up better. We've also had a crazy windy season, so there's a lot of trash. Ooh, that's really from all of us that live here. There's like 6 of us, and the wind blows. You put something outside, the wind blows, so I'm gonna clean that up. It's supposed to get icy again this week. Can't fucking wait for that. So I might not do it this week, but it is something on the to-do list, which is ever shrinking. So that is the back side of my RV. I did not show you the little pass-through storage, but we'll catch it on this front side here. Let's flip you around and go through this. All right, this is the front of the RV. So some of this is temporary, some of this is useful, some of this is just comfort. I built this deck, and yes, I built it before I knew that decks were built with 1x6s instead of 2x6s, but it makes it very sturdy. It goes all the way back, and I love it so very much. I figured if I was going to be here a while, I might as well be comfortable. So there is hose. I use that for watering the yard and different other things. I usually fill up the dog's bowls with this deal. It does run under my deck, so I don't trip on it. Something I need to do with that damn cord right there, too. But these hoses busted in the freeze, so that sucks. Gotta replace them. Here's the deal. So you'll notice these goofy ass angles. This fence was here, whatever, don't blame it. Then I put my RV here. The problem is there's like 6 trapezoids happening. That's why this deck makes a funny angle like it does, because it's actually straight along my RV. Ask me if I care, because I don't. So there's that. This is that pass-through storage that I was telling you about. This is the bigger of the 2 doors. There's another door on the other side. It does go all the way through. It looks a little crowded right now because it is. All those tools and that paint I actually keep in here because there's a little panel right there that opens up. And I like to just keep this area heated when it gets super, super cold. If not, your freeze will kill your paint. And when I say kill, I mean you won't be able to use it. It'll freeze up your paint. It has happened to me, so there you go. I have 2 chairs here, even though one's only ever used because I'm the only one ever here. And I keep my dog food right here. It's quite a lot of tasks to feed a lot of dogs, so I usually feed them out here if we can. Moving right along, if we go up, I keep those little magnetic flashlights there because sometimes it is super, super dark, even with all the lights on, and I just like to spot find the dogs in the yard. Boom, just like that. These lights, again, forgive the fact that I ran out of magnets, so I had to just kind of tape these up, but this side looks really good. And these are just Edison bulbs. They are amazingly beautiful at night. Working our way back, that's the entrance to my RV. Those are the stairs. I can't believe I didn't take down that blanket. Shit. Okay, sorry, I didn't take down that blanket, but that's okay. That's just a temporary blocker because I had Reflectix in there, and the dogs decided they liked the tie-dye better, so they chewed up the Reflectix. There you go. Over here, I've got some extension cords running from a plug on that side of this black thing, right up under here. This is a timer. It's set to this little sun setting, which means that it goes on and off with the lights, which is amazing. There's a bunch of settings to this. I freaking love this thing. You can do it by touch. You can do it by remote. You can come out here and turn it on and off by yourself. Just kind of saves me from having to plug in and unplug every single time, because this puppy goes to these lights and to the fence lights. So as long as it's not raining, I can keep all this on. If it's raining, I come out here and just flat out unplug it, because this guy is connected to a GFI right there, and it will trip half of the electrical in my RV. So I freaked the hell out because I think the power went out. Turns out my GFI just got flipped. I do have these two toolboxes here. I am a huge proponent. Would you rather look at my face? I am a huge proponent of clear storage boxes. I've gone through this whole like purging situation in my life. So I'm trying not to hit the canopy, which is right behind the camera. So this is weird. Okay. I'm really a big fan of clear plastic containers. The reason I bought these is because they have my tools in them. For one, I didn't want tools to be visible. Not really worried about it here. I've got some pretty trusting people here, and I live in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. So nobody's gonna come out here. However, when I'm traveling in the bus and I've got tools and I wanna open my storage bay or pull out the box or whatever needs to happen, I just didn't really want it to be a welcome sign to steal my shit. So black boxes it is. Now if any of you can find me on the road in the middle of nowhere in this great big country randomly at any given time and you know about this, I guess you could come steal from me, but the chances of that are pretty low. Not worried about it. This is a weight bench. I love it very much. And I've got a decent set of weights. Thank you, Mommy, for buying me those for Christmas. Appreciate it. This is what is this? This is a curtain. I use this curtain because that's my view. You can see it behind me. And it's not as private as I would like. And what I really use it for, to be honest, well, sometimes working out. But this is a sauna. I love this portable sauna. I look like a big dipshit in it, but it is amazing. Oh, here comes my neighbor's kid, or my landlord's kids. Look, I'll just show you a little flash of them. They've got their toys out. Aw, I love them so much. They're the cutest kids. So I have a rack here for, this is how we're angled, by the way. We just turned around a lot. So we're just coming right back to the back of the RV. I have what is this called? A shelf. I have a shelf here with my pallet wood that I've already sanded down. It takes freaking forever. So this is my pallet wood for that. I don't care if it gets wet yet. It's pallet wood, it's supposed to get wet, and I will treat it before I use it. Ooh, back there is dirty. All of that is supposed to be firewood. We have had really shit weather, so that is a little bit more cluttered than it would be. I'm sorry. I have a couple of more workout things. That deal is the bus. No, it's not. It's the base to my bus seat. You'll see that later. For now, we're just gonna show you this. This is my outdoor kitchen. I use it really just to fill up the dog's water bowls, but it's also a great resale value. And with prices of RVs the way they are now, it'll be great. I've got a refrigerator right there on my elbow. I can't point to it. I've only got two hands. And I've got a sink with some dirty crap in there that I need to clean out. So, shocker, more stuff to do. But again, I'm the only one doing it, you guys. I don't have like a boyfriend or a husband to do all this for me. And then while I sit and edit videos, and I know that that is a lot of work. Oh, they're retrieving Argo. That's so funny. Love him. Love him. So I don't really have somebody to do this with me. Hey, you know what? I'm not bashing people that do. I'm just saying I don't have that person. So it is all me. I also run my own business and I have a full-time job because I love what I do for my full-time job and I get great benefits. It's like unfair how good they are. So I'm gonna stay with them because I like them a lot. So there's that. That is the RV. I also have this propane grill. Love it. It is old as shit. It is rusting out and I am obsessed with it. So I'm keeping it and it's going with me to the bus because it's connected back there. Doing it backwards, it's connected back there and it's really great. It's also has this quick connect. Shit ain't quick. It's hard as hell to plug and unplug, so it just stays plugged in. All right, let me show you something else down here. I've got this same hog fence running on the bottom of the RV. And I've got these little noodles here. They look super tacky because of the color, sorry. But it was because the top of this fence was scratching up my RV. So that's something that I have to fix before I sell it. These are the steps into the RV. I did put those sort of anti-slip mats on because I have fallen down these stairs in freezing temperatures. And something else that is very sad. Yep, that's not supposed to be like that. All right, so that completes the tour of the outside. Now let's head in. Now I just want to say that a lot of the things that we are going to discuss today are temporary things that I sort of had to do because I'm building a bus. And so I'm going to, like I said, be as objective as possible and go through just really what's in here, the layout, and then in subsequent videos, the one following this and the one after that, I will go into more specifics of what I do and don't like. So the reason I'm doing this is because I really want to show you guys where I live and show you what decisions led me to making the different decisions for the bus. So this situation, pros and cons, led me to make all the decisions for my bus. And that's what I highly recommend from any of you. If you don't know what you want, or if you think you know what you want, go spend some time in a tiny home, in an RV, in whatever kind of tiny home it is, and see if you really do like it. See if you can do it. If you have an apartment, see if you can live out of one room. One room, that's all you get. And if you feel too cramped, if you feel like, hell no, not for me, then you don't have to spend all the money on buying or building your own rig. So that's just something to think about. But I'm gonna flip you around here. We're gonna take you through my RV. So right as you step in, you come into the living room. The living room is to your left, and the bedroom and bathroom are to your right. We will get to those in a moment. So we're gonna come through here. This is where I live. We're gonna start here. I have this little portable AC unit. What it does is it ducts from here to there. It's not super, but we're gonna start in here. And if you look down, you can see a portable AC unit that I have. It ducts from there to the window, and I built this whole window sort of frame. These are just little pulls that I put on to kind of hold it in place or to pull it out if I need to. And then this doesn't look very pretty at all, and I know that. It's very temporary. This is as a backup to my AC unit there, which is a little dirty, so sorry about that. But my rooftop AC unit is not crazy efficient. I will talk more about that later. But this is a backup. It stays here because it is about to get hot outside again. I have a pee pad here and there because there are actually little cages that go here. I foster a lot of dogs, and right now I've got a difficult dog that goes in that big cage, but she's outside right now. And I've got two little puppies that are potty training and crate training, so they are in here too. Now I just want to say, before anybody makes a comment about me having a lot of dogs in here, first of all, a lot of these dogs are temporary placements, like fosters or otherwise, that aren't actually my dogs. I just do it to help the organization that I volunteer with. Two, I'm not a normal dog owner. I don't think people understand that. When I tell people how many dogs I either have or have at one time, they kind of, they're in shock. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm outside with my dogs multiple times a day. We're playing for at least 15 minutes at a time, 15 to 30 minutes, weather depending, of course. If it's pouring down rain, we're probably not going to be playing outside. But we are outside multiple times a day. I am constantly having my hands all over them to desensitize them, to touch their paws, to touch their ears. Because if you're ever needing to look at them, if they've got a little thorn in their foot or they need to go to the vet to look at something, they need to be able to not freak out. So that's a medical concern. As well as I'm constantly like really, really petting them and making sure that they don't have any weird bumps or scrapes or, anything like that. I am not a normal dog owner. My life revolves around my dogs. I do everything for my dogs. I take my dogs a lot of places that I go. So the fact that I have a lot of dogs, it's not like I just leave them in their cages all day. Cage training and off-leash training are very, very important. And I do that a lot. And I still do it with my older dogs. But I just wanted to put that out there that I do have a lot of dogs, and I do have a lot of dogs at one time sometimes, but they don't just all sit in their cages in their various parts of, the house. And in the bus, we're going to have a lot less room, and I'm not going to be able to have as many puppies at a time, for example. I just wanted to make that comment because I do have 3 dog cages in here, but they are temporary, so it's not a big deal. So moving right along, I do have a bunch of toys back there. There's a basket. That's where it lives for now. I get it out and let the dogs play with the toys, and then I put them all back there. This is one of 2 chairs that I have for this RV. The other one is in storage because I'm only one person and I don't need both of them. Plus, obviously, it takes up valuable real estate for other things. That is actually a recent development. That wasn't always a part of this rig, but again, I said we'd get to that later. This is the cage for the difficult dog right now. I do have a little table that I can pull out in case I need it. It's very rare that I need it, but I do record videos with it sometimes. Back there are actually 2 trash cans that I'm going to put in the bus. I have a really neat system to have a pull-out drawer for trash and dog food. There's 2 trash cans there for that. We'll get to that later. Those are only there and not somewhere else or being used because they're actually about to be put in the bus, because here somewhat soon I will be framing out the bus. A fan, have to have a fan. Up here I have a weather alert radio. I will get more into that later. I think that everybody that lives mobile should have one of these. It's a NOAA weather alert radio. It is not just a weather radio, it is a weather alert radio. That's very important. That's my Wi-Fi router. Whatever. That ugly mess of cables is for Wi-Fi and a bunch of things over there. Coffee stuff is drying in the sink, but this is my kitchen. I have a U-shaped kitchen and a nice window. And then my cabinetry. So we will get more into this later again, but the only storage I have in this kitchen is this cabinet here, those 2 drawers, and those sort of 4 cabinets. And then over here, I've got kind of a pantry. We'll get to that in a moment. But I just want to make that clear because this is actually my outdoor kitchen that you saw when we were outside. So I keep my Instapot out here because I have literally nowhere else to put it. And there is my RV propane stove. I love it so much. I also have nowhere to put this pan, and I use it for coffee every morning anyway, so it lives on the stove. I will open up these cabinets for you so you can see kind of how crazy packed they are. I have food and dishes and a really big water pot. I know I said I would be objective during this tour, but I do not like how I have to organize my stuff in this RV due to lack of storage. So just keep that in mind as you see goofy stuff in goofy places. There's that. 2 drawers here. Yes, those are mouse traps. Yes, we will get back to that later. The other drawer is the same, except just one big one. RV stove and microwave. Pretty standard. I do have a electric refrigerator, which I love so much. It's enormous. And open that up. I obviously need to go to the grocery store. And then a freezer. So lots of storage, lots of things. we'll get to this later again too. I specifically left that little sawdust right there for a reason. This is the return for the furnace. And then I do have floor vents. This little sort of area is the only place that I can really keep my trash and my vacuum. Because there's really nowhere else that's like long enough to hold it. Vacuum is absolutely going into the trash once I get into the bus because I have a better solution. This is just something that I brought from my house many years ago and didn't want to buy a new one just for the RV, which I was then not going to need later. And then I don't have a trash can for this right now. So it is what it is. This is the storage pantry. I, again, will get into more of this later, but I do have to put dog stuff, dishwashing stuff, dog stuff, and cookbooks, and dishes, and paper towel. I mean, this is like a catch-all for the rest of my kitchen stuff. There's also food back there. It's kind of a mess. It's like organized chaos. I know where everything is. Down there, actually, I'm not going to open it up because this is a pain in the butt to all move, but there's actually only one drawer in here. So the whole bottom is where the water heater lives on the outside. If you turn around here, this is my office area. I do have to have some storage down there because that's valuable real estate that I need otherwise. I have some office stuff down there, dog stuff down there, water, that's where that lives, and a little heater because when I sit here, I like to have a heater on my feet. So this is where I sit. Sometimes another dog will go sit over there with me. Usually my husky mix, Nova, she loves to be next to me. Those two things are actually drawers that I will show you in a subsequent video. They have more storage, but we'll get into why I do and don't like them. So this is my work setup. This, and this are my personal sort of computer and monitor things. I also have a personal gaming computer back there that I built myself. And this monitor, the keyboard and mouse, and that laptop, along with those papers, that's all work related. I just kind of switch off the different things depending on obviously what I'm doing for the day. I do work from home. So that's the temporary setup. It might change later. This cluster of cords, which makes me upset because I'm very big on cord management, but it actually is the best iteration that I've had thus far. I've got my various phones, various things for the laptop, various things for that computer. And then I've got other chargers for obviously the Fitbit and the, action cameras and all the things. I do have a better place to store these blankets. The problem is I kind of need this elevated to put all this stuff on so it's not just awkwardly sitting on this bench. Also, if a dog does jump up here, it's just better to have it a little bit higher. I don't like this. This is something I'm changing in the bus. I know I said I would be objective, but I needed to say that. Ignore it. I don't like it. Like I said, personal gaming computer that I built myself, hard drive that I back everything up onto, SD cards. And then this big old black cord goes up to this storage. And in here, I've got my printer. Other printing things. It's actually organized. You're just going to have to believe me. And then I've got my pants here and here. And then sheets there and there. Those are those fitted sheets that I can never fold right. So judge me. And then a plant that I bought recently, that's the best place for it. I don't know where else to really put it. But this is the living room area. I just bought that fireplace as a backup to my propane furnace. Again, we'll get into more on that later. This rug is a free rug from a family member. It's just here to cover my floor. That's the old floor. That's the carpeted floor. And that's the floor that I'm replacing it with. Just haven't finished that project yet, and decided that I'm probably not going to do it until I go to sell the RV because the dogs kind of just are a mess with it. So there's my TV. I don't know why I still have this damn film on the TV. I literally just never took it off, so it is what it is. Sorry about it. DVD player, because that thing doesn't work with the DVD player. I don't know why they said it would. It doesn't. So portable DVD player. In here I have more storage. I've just got DVDs back there. It's nothing special. More camera gear. You'll see more in a minute. Apparently a shitload of remotes. I do know what all those go to eventually. I just got to look at it. Oh, good. And more camera gear. My goodness. I don't get into that often. That is my electrical. Again, I know I'm trying to be objective, but that's just a shit place for it. It's also a little dusty, but that's where all of my electrical, my sort of breakers and my fuses, all the crap, all kind of comes together. So stupid that it's there, to be honest with you, because the dogs hit their tails on it, things can spill on it. It just, I'm just upset about it. That is the CO2 detector. Obviously very important. It does work. It's gone off a couple times. So very, very good there. Also, the couch does fold out into a bed. You just have to lift it up. Oh. And it's really difficult to do with one freaking hand, as you can see. But that folds down. Just believe me. Goes down just like that. And there you go. I do cover my couch and my chair with blankets so the dogs don't tear up the fabric. It's also a lot easier to take these blankets off and bleach the hell out of them. That way they come clean. And then, under the couch, there's a drawer there too. That one's actually on rollers, so it's easier to pull out. And that's where I store all of the shoes that I never wear. So I'm going to come back over here and just look up at the ceiling. That is my one and only rooftop AC unit. I've got speakers here, which I don't really use as often anymore. These lights, which you can turn on all of them by a switch or individually turn them off like that. You do have to come back and turn them on to then come back and turn them off by that switch. So I do have a barrel ceiling, which is nice. It makes it feel bigger, and it's also kind of nice because it kind of represents the bus ceiling as well. I've got various vents. I do have a vented AC system, various vents, and I also have an antenna right there. I don't put it out much because I don't need it anymore, but it is really good. I like it. And then you see this awkward cord going all the way down, and that's how I power everything here because I do not have a plug on this slide out or anywhere on this side of the rig. So that's what that temporary ugly thing is. This is my bathroom door. It used to say shut, and then I decided to build a bus. So I've just accumulated a lot of crap and need to store some stuff back there. I also store some dog stuff back there. I'll get to that in a moment, but this is just some extra stuff that I need to go through. Different products that I use, hair, makeup, all the stuff, hair clips. I will have a better place for it in the bus. Yeah. There's a window there, obviously. The dogs apparently like this better because they haven't eaten it, and they ate the Reflectix, like I said, outside. This used to be a screen door, and they chewed through it, so it's no longer a screen door. This little door here, this is my makeshift closet. That's obviously the door to my bedroom, and I have camping gear and these two bins back there, some extra cups, extra dog food. I do have different dog food because I foster and they pay for that dog food. Well, we get donations, so that's just food that I'm feeding my foster dogs with. And then extra blankets. I keep this shut all the time. It's just me here. I don't care. And that stays with a doorstop that I put on. All right. Bathroom. So, squatty potty. Not a porcelain toilet. It is plastic. I don't care. Don't have opinion one way or another. We come in here. This is a temporary tie that is just expanded. This is the normal shut, but because it's nice and I didn't want to have to replace it, I don't use it because I am reselling this RV. This is the shower. I'm told it's big for an RV shower. Big for an RV is relative. I do have a skylight up there, and I had some Reflectix up there. That's why those little command hook Velcros are there. But that's my shower. The shower head does have that little feature that will turn off the water if you want to take a military shower, which is nice. And then I have storage. Don't look at that cabinet. This one's really nice though. I just put this banana hammock fruit basket deal in, and what's nice is that it's actually not meant to go here, but it is able to give me essentially another shelf. I could have bought a shelf, but what you might not be able to see is that there's a lot of weird angles in here, and I just didn't care to do that. So I bought this for $14 off of Amazon, and it's working. If you are full-timing and moving, I don't recommend this. All of those pill bottles would fall every single time. But this did not look like this a couple days ago. It just did that. Used to look a lot more messy. Kind of like this. So you can see there's a lot of wasted real estate. We'll get back to that later in another video, of course. And then a dehumidifier that doesn't work anymore, and my black tank liquid. Over here, sink, of course. More storage. Again, only have a shelf here because down there is access to stuff under the RV. I just put this here too. It's just held up with two little hooks. It's just a trash because I didn't have one, and I needed one in here because I always would just set stuff here and then it would be messy, and I hate it. I kept this here just to mention it. I actually keep these because I use them. I put my lint in there from my dryer, and I use them as fire starters. They're really great. You do have this medicine cabinet, but my eyes are down here, so that's what I see. We'll get to that. There's my medicine cabinet. Again, hard to store stuff because the shelves are very far apart. Is what it is. I've got a fan up there, but it's cold now, so that little insulated deal is in there. I have a vent in here as well. Same lights. And toilet, of course. So, this is my bedroom. And I will walk you through this really quick. Those are actually supposed to be the closets. They're full of stuff. I have no idea what's in there. But even when I didn't have all this extra crap for the bus and stuff, it was still a pain in the ass to shimmy the way over there. So I really just never did use them. I had storage up here, of course. That's all sort of hair products and various other things that I don't have to get to too often. From here to here is all of my camera gear, the rest of it. And then I have nowhere else to put those damn towels, so they go there. I love that clock. We'll get to that later. I also never make my bed. This is a one-time thing. You're welcome. Extra flooring for when I freaking finish it. Yes, I have another tacky-ass blanket on this window because I have a little Reflectix thing like that for it when it gets super, 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 super cold. But I don't need it a lot because it does let in a little bit of light. I have another one of these heaters. We will get to that again later. And this fan is always going, but because I was giving a tour, I just turned it off. It's so big because it's the smallest one that I could find that oscillates with a remote. That's the remote, and I love it. These I bought at Walmart, just little sort of storage drawers for my clothes because they were in the upper cabinet above the couch earlier. The problem is that I kind of needed that space for the office stuff, so it's just kind of here. Again, temporary. I've got some bus stuff down there, nothing too important. I do have this coat rack, which came from my old apartment, and I love it. It's kind of a catch-all right now for dog stuff, obviously, and my beach hat, and various other things. Here, I have a bunch of the blankets and the pee pads, the reusable pee pads for my pups. And then right now that's where my dirty clothes live. And I've got the spray foam for the bus. And I've got a TV there too. I didn't take the film off of this either. I'm not sorry about it. This is a short queen mattress. And I'll show you up under it. If I can. So that's the plywood that it sits on. Take note that the plywood stops short. We'll talk about that later. Same deal here with the lights, except these two lights are on this switch. And then those two lights are on that switch. I have a love-hate relationship with those, which we will also talk about later. Alright guys, so that concludes the tour of my RV. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you saw things that maybe got your mind thinking about what you might want or what you might not want. Next week, we're gonna have the video on what I do like about this RV. And the week after that, we're gonna have a video on what I don't like about the RV. I had to break it up like that because we might be here all day if I didn't. So we'll catch you next week. Thank you so much for joining me this week. Have a good week, guys, and stay safe.